Tell me how you felt about your financial position before you started.
I felt like we didn't have a good handle on it and that we just kind of were floating month to month on not a lot of knowledge on how to manage the finances. Like it felt like we were doing okay, but not with any purpose behind it.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I think we didn't have any knowledge. It felt like opaque and mysterious, and we were getting by, but we didn't know why.
Yeah.
um, yeah.
Both of us felt like we didn't have a good like knowledge or understanding of money and the way money works just from growing. Like it didn't feel like it's something that either of us specifically learned other than just seeing like what each of our parents modeled. So it's been really helpful to just learn a lot of techniques and ways to think about money that we didn't have before, and ways to think about money differently than maybe our parents, both of our parents had. And our parents, I think, were very different with money, but
yeah, like an opaque black mystery.
Yeah.
So what can paint a picture of your financial state of affairs before you started?
We had back taxes that we owed, and then we had credit card debt that kind of just, it wasn't growing, but it wasn't going away. It was kind of just staying right at the same level for years.
And didn't look like it was ever going to go away.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Did you try other strategies before you started with me?
Not with much intention, and not really.
And even less follow through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we tried and in fits and starts, various versions of like homegrown budgets and things like that. That never lasted very long.
What was the impetus that made you guys decide to seek wealth coaching? Like why now? Why all of a sudden?
I think it was actually talking to a friend of ours who had worked with you, and she, after like a third time of her raving about the whole thing, I was like, okay. But even when she would talk about it, it was kind of like, well, what is it? And what is Trees do? Like, I don't.
Yeah. Like who was it? Sarah, right.
Yeah. So, so that's when I think I just was like, well, I respect Sarah and she's smart. And so I'll take her word and reach out to you and just kind of see if it seems like an interesting thing for us to pursue.
So how long did it take to start seeing or feeling results?
I mean, not long. I feel like seeing results, I'd say within a month or two, just by taking some of the things from the golden ticket and doing them was very quick. And then I think probably feeling the results maybe, within the first year for sure, but I think pretty quickly. Kind of don't remember what.
Yeah, my perspective came from the outside. So Kim manages all our finances. So I've always been pretty in the dark about it. And I remember when she started, my fear was that suddenly we're going to be on this tight budget and I'm not going to be able to do anything. And within the first month or two, it actually felt like the opposite, because there was more. It was like, no, we have bounty money. You can go to the mall and get this. And knowing the parameters of what I could spend, actually, I might have started buying more stuff for myself as we started, or I don't know if that's totally true, but it didn't feel restrictive. It felt like there were clear parameters, and it felt actually empowering. And that was just within the first few months.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be really stringent and those sorts of things. And it wasn't that at all.
So what effects did this experience have on your relationship as partners?
Well, I think that because I did it for many years, just me, and the last 6 months or so, Mark has joined our conversations, and that has been so great for me, because I'm not having to relay any of the information or feel like I'm like enforcing a system that he doesn't quite know about.
Yeah. And even before I joined, I'm really happy I'm more involved. But before, when it was just you, because the burden of our finances always fell on you, I remember in the early years when it was just you and Trees feeling like so happy that you had someone else to talk things through. And then, we would talk through high level decisions, but you would bring Trees' perspective. And I just felt like you had an ally. but now, and I just thought, I mean, because I knew I was so ignorant about money in general, it's been really educational, and I think it's brought us on the same page for me to join in, like we have been for the last year.
Beautiful. It's beautiful to hear your answers. So to get the level of success you got, what did you feel like you had to sacrifice?
I mean, not much. And like, I feel like our biggest sacrifice now is not really related. I mean, is our house, but we're now finding strategies even to like not have that be and that was just a sacrifice on travel. So
yeah, I'm trying to, that I don't feel like we sacrificed much. It felt like kind of pure, like it did just feel like plugging holes in a leaky bucket, and that doesn't feel like sacrifice. It was like, oh, now the money we're making, we're keeping.
yeah.
Instead of like, it was sort of just disappearing into the ether. I don't feel like our lifestyle changed. We were more intentional, but that felt positive, not like a sacrifice. And then it felt like money stopped evaporating and started collecting. Yeah.
Yeah. So how did you feel during the process? Was it fun, hard, easy, enjoyable, drudgery?
And just fun, and everything else feels very doable. And sometimes like a challenge or something that I don't want to do or don't feel necessarily comfortable doing. But I feel like it always feels great after I've done it, and it feels worth it. Like it feels like there's a reason to do it, and that the reason is worth doing the uncomfortable or hard things.
Yeah, it feels like any other coach or trainer, which is, yeah, like, I don't know, I'm thinking of riding the Peloton. They're pushing you into slightly uncomfortable territory, but afterwards you feel much better.
Yeah.
And as you come back to it, you're stronger. And so it's not that it's not uncomfortable at times, but it feels like that good kind of, you know, like you're building new muscle.
It's
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I think with how many Pelotons were sold this year, everybody can relate to that analogy.
Yeah, right.
Okay, guys, the viewers are curious. So how much would you say your net worth has changed?
Over the past, what, 5 years?
Or maybe a little more.
A little more.
Yeah.
It's, this is crazy to me. It's increased by over 5 times our net worth, 5x. And we, in the meantime, got rid of all of our credit card debt, which was substantial, and back taxes. And actually, just recently, we had a huge, unexpected property tax. Was it that?
Oh yeah, that yeah.
And obviously, that wasn't something we wanted to get, but we were in a place where that was not, you know, prior to starting work with you, I think we would have been like very much caught off guard, and we were able in stride to just pay it. And that's not how we would have been if we were caught off guard 5 years ago. Yeah, it's been life-changing.
Yeah, your results are literally, it's hard to, money grows exponentially, and you guys are so young. So it's a lot of people think they have to wait till they're 60 or 70 to enjoy the fruits of their labor, but at this rate, money's probably going to be not necessary to work for if you don't want to, by 50s at the early 50s at the latest, if not sooner.
Yeah, we look around at our friends. I mean, we've become evangelists for you because it feels like we have a secret or like a cheat code to, and it doesn't feel fair. Like we're working as hard as anyone else, but some of our friends like aren't seeing those benefits that we are, and it's like just call trees. And yeah, because it has radically changed our personal finances, and we also own a small business together. And so like being able to apply even some of the abstract principles to the way we run the business has just whipped that into shape.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like going back to that leaky bucket idea, like not only did we start plugging those obvious, or in retrospect, obvious holes, but we've also really turned the tap on. And it's, I mean, I guess that's how you get to a 5x increase in net worth.
Yeah, it's really incredible what you guys have achieved. So if you were giving any advice to listeners, why would you say you were so successful?
Two things come to mind right off the bat. One is just doing like follow through each month, doing like the monthly mint and the monthly tasks, which usually are pretty small and feel like they can't really add up to much, but if you do them, they do.
I think actually me getting more involved recently, I mean, we've been working with you for years, or Kim has, but at least for me and from my perspective, I've loved actually getting involved, and I didn't think I would. But I do think that's something that will start paying even bigger dividends, especially on the like business side or the vision side, because I feel more. Yeah. So I don't know, showing up for me, which I wasn't for a little while. Yeah.
And then I think the other thing that I was thinking of is that we've taken some risks in the property that we purchased, which was like a pretty big risk to dive in, and then quitting one of the jobs quitting one of the clients that paid us monthly retainer for years, and that was a huge leap of faith to realize that and lose that income. But now it's been okay.
Yeah, we barely, I mean, we're making it up. Yeah, that's an interesting one. It does feel like this might, or maybe a misconception would be that this doing money management is like risk averse, but I think your coaching and advice has been invaluable to taking some really big risks, like building a large new house and office for our business. And you were very supportive of the idea of me losing essentially 30% of our income from a very big second job I was working. But your advice, and it's proved true, was with the singular focus I could have after that, what we could gain in terms of income with our primary focus and not being divided or scattered would be, it's already on track to more than making up what we've lost.
Yeah.
So that's been awesome.
Yeah. Another thing that I really appreciate working with you is that you always have thoughts and advice to give on any kind of decision or thing that we're thinking about or whatever, but ultimately you are very good at letting us be the decision makers and doing it the way we want to do it. And then you'll fall into place and say, okay, well, great. If that's the decision, then let's figure out how to make that happen, which feels really nice, because it's very empowering for us to feel like we're still in charge of it all.
Yeah.
And that you're here to kind of help us see it through.
Yeah, that pivot, or that ability to give advice, like, I don't know, don't get a new car. And then we're like, yeah, we're getting a new car. And then you're quickly are like, okay, if you're getting a new car, here's the best way to do that. And so it doesn't feel like, yeah, it feels like you're here for advice, but ultimately we're still driving the car and the car.
Yeah, you're the boss. And one thing that you said, Kim, at the very beginning was like, okay, I'll do these action steps, even though they're not really going to add up to a hill of beans. But you took a leap of faith and you just followed the process, and then it added up to lots. I think that's a misconception, is that these big changes change things. It's really these little things. And that was, you pointed that out. Guys, it was such a pleasure to hear your thoughts, and thank you for the interview.
Of course.